The Ballad of Broken Dreams at Uniwersytet Przyrodniczy w Lublinie. Oh, gather round, my disillusioned darlings, and let me spin you a tale so tragic, so absurd, it would make Kafka blush. Picture this. A bright-eyed young soul, brimming with hope, steps into the hallowed halls of Uniwersytet Przyrodniczy w Lublinie, ready to conquer the world of science, animals, and maybe learn how to make a difference. What follows is not education. It is a slow, bureaucratic suffocation, a masterclass in institutional failure. Let us begin with the sacred temple of knowledge, the lectures, or should I say, the lack of them. Imagine paying no, investing your hard-earned zloty, only to be handed a PowerPoint slide dumped into a chat like digital leftovers. Cross-size zappersnack, they say, as if enlightenment could be achieved by staring at bullet points in Comic Sans. This is not teaching, this is intellectual neglect. The professors, those revered scholars, could not be bothered to hit record on a Zoom call. Why? Because effort is for peasants, and we are but peasants in their academic fiefdom. And oh, the Kithos glittering promises of career glory. Take Pilignac Jesuirzat I Animalotrapia, a title so grand it practically sparkles. But peel back the veneer and what do you find? A hollow sham. A directionless farce. Students emerge with a degree as valuable as a grocery receipt mocked in other cities, their qualifications as credible as a horoscope. The crowning jewel. A professor bless her heart whose expertise lay not in therapy but in chickens. Yes, chickens. And when the university realized she was as useful as a screen door on a submarine, they tossed her aside. Poetic, no. But wait, the tragedy deepens. The Dzikanathos gatekeepers of bureaucracy professionalism goes to die. Picture this, you arrive at 2:30 p.m., heart-pounding, documents clutched in your sweaty palms, only to be met with the icy stare of a woman who clearly missed her calling as a Soviet-era prison warden. We close early, she snaps, though the clock begs to differ. Why? Because rules are for the little people and coffee breaks are sacred. The sheer audacity of expecting basic courtesy. The way they sneer, the way they dismiss it is not just rudeness. It is a power play, a reminder that you are nothing and they hold the keys to your academic survival. And then, the labs. Oh, the labs. Where science meets Slojki Dzemilovich. Yes, my friends, in this esteemed institution, cutting-edge research is conducted in jam jars, the pinnacle of Polish innovation. The equipment, non-existent, the oversight, a myth. The professors, oblivious, teaching courses they barely remember the names of. It is like watching a clown perform brain surgery-trifying, absurd and doomed from the start. But the true horror, the veterinaria nocturna. The emergency care that is anything but. Imagine your beloved pet writhing in pain and desperate, frantic till the number plastered on their website. Ring, 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 silence. 2 hours of agony, 2 hours of screaming into the void while some bureaucrat sips her tea and ignores the phone. Paisnich Mexi, they might as well say, because compassion, that is for fairy tales. And let us not forget the crowning jewel of incompetence, the pandemic response. While the world adapted, our brave academics doubled down on delusion, peddling nonsense about wild house cats like some medieval superstition. These are the minds shaping future veterinarians. These are the experts. It is enough to make you weep or laugh if laughter did not taste so bitter. So here we stand, my fellow sufferers, in the ruins of what could have been. Degrees that mean nothing, knowledge that was never given, respect that was never earned. Uniwersytet Przyrodniczy w Lublinie, name that once held promise, now synonymous with broken dreams. Tell me, dear listenership, have you too felt the sting of their neglect? Have you too been failed by the very eye?
Institution that swore to uplift you. Share your
businesses near Uniwersytet Przyrodniczy w Lublinie, Lublin, are a disappointment wrapped in frustration. If you are expecting quality service, fair treatment, or even basic competence, prepare to lower your standards significantly. Let us begin with shopping centers. The businesses here treat customers as if they are an inconvenience rather than the reason they exist. Take Lublin Plaza Shopping Center, for example. This is not just a place to shop. It is a place where danger lurks in the most unexpected corners. A playground so neglected that children leave with cuts from splintered wood. security guards who behave like overzealous dictators, harassing visitors for harmless activities like recording a video of food. The parking situation is a puzzle. Empty spaces are a myth. Yet somehow, the stores remain quiet, and if you bring a dog, forget it. The center's management seems to believe pets are forbidden creatures, stuck in some outdated mindset. Then there is the dining experience. Restaurants and cafes in this area do not serve food, they serve regret. At McDonald's in the plaza, baristas must have forgotten what coffee is supposed to taste like. Orders arrive wrong, syrups are missing, and the drinks taste like sweetened water with a hint of despair. The staff, if you can call them that, seem confused about their own menu. Annabilly's, a cafe that should offer comfort, is a masterclass in disappointment. The coffee, some say it resembles charcoal. The hygiene, a distant memory. Tables remain dirty, orders arrive incorrect, and the staff has perfected the art of indifference. One poor soul found a frozen bee in their ice cream because nothing says quality control like a surprise insect in your dessert. The service is so bad, customers leave unfinished meals behind. And honestly, who can blame them? Fashion boutiques are no better. Petit Boutique treats its customers with the warmth of a tax auditor. Parking is a nightmare, and if you dare to question the owner's decision to park in a disabled spot, prepare for a lecture on why rules do not apply to them. Returns, a bureaucratic nightmare. The attitude seems to be, you bought it, now suffer. So what does this mean for travelers? Simple. If you must visit businesses near Uniwersytet Przyrodniczy, Lublinie, Lublin, go in with zero expectations. Assume incompetence. Prepare for indifference. And maybe pack a snack. Because the food here is more likely to disappoint than satisfy. The only thing consistent in this area is the mediocrity. If you are looking for quality, you will not find it here. At least not without digging through layers of neglect and bad attitudes. Consider this your warning. Proceed with caution, or better yet, proceed elsewhere.
You know, I've been looking into some pretty unsettling stuff around the Uniwersytet Przyrodniczy Lublinie in Lublin. It's like, this place is supposed to be about learning and growing, but instead, there's this undercurrent of deceit that just makes my heart sink. So there was this one time near the university where tourists were lured into a souvenir shop. It was all shiny and promising from the outside, filled with these cute little trinkets that screamed Poland. But the prices were like suspiciously low, and the quality, well, it was basically just waiting to fall apart the moment you got home. I can just picture the look on those tourists' faces when they realized they'd been had, you know. They probably felt so betrayed, and I bet they spent the rest of their trip feeling foolish, constantly questioning every purchase. And the shop owners, they probably packed up and disappeared into the night, only to reopen a few streets away under a different name. It's a cycle, and it's just so disheartening. Then, there's the story of this authentic Polish restaurant right by the university. It promised an authentic culinary experience, but what the tourists got was a menu full of overpriced, mediocre dishes. The reviews were stellar, all glowing and perfect, but it turns out they were as fake as the restaurant's cheerful facade. I can only imagine the disappointment of those expecting a true taste of Poland, only to be served up a plate of lies. They likely left the place feeling cheated and probably ended up sticking to the most basic food for the rest of their trip, missing out on the real flavors of Lublin. And that restaurant, Well, unless they got some seriously bad word of mouth, they ray probably still out there, preying on the next unsuspecting visitor. It's just so wrong, you know. These scammers, they ray like parasites, feeding off the joy and curiosity of tourists. They don't care about the damage they leave in their wake, the memories they tarnish, or the trust they shatter. And it's not just about the money, it's about the feeling of safety and excitement that turns into fear and regret. It's about the laughter that turns into tears when you realize you've been played for a fool. I wish I could say that these stories are rare, but they ray not. They ray just a glimpse into the shadowy side of the area around Uniwersytet Przyrodniczy w Lublinie. It's like this beautiful place is dressed up in borrowed finery, hiding the ugliness beneath. And as much as it pains me to say it, I can't help but wonder who will be the next to fall victim to these scams. But hey, let us not end on such a downer, okay? Maybe, just maybe, if we share these stories, we can open some eyes. We can make sure that the next person who walks down these streets isn't walking into a trap. Because at the end of the day,